up, everyone? I recently had a chance to meet Jason Kenney at one of his town halls during his leadership race, or leadership campaign for the Alberta Progressive Conservative Party. Like I said, he made a stop in my hometown, and for my reporting job at one of the local newspapers, I went there to cover his town hall, which gave me a chance to actually meet him. And I'm addressing this because in the past I have criticized him before. So before we go into what I feel about him and what may or may not have changed after meeting him, I just want to explain that I think it is very important to at least meet some of these politicians, because once you meet them, you gain a little bit of insight. Because when you just see them in the media, read about them in the paper or a magazine, or read about them online, or you, hear them talk on the radio or the internet, whatever. When you just see them that way, you may not get the full story of how these people really are. You gain a much better idea of what they're like when you actually get to meet them in person. You can find out if you were totally wrong about them, or if you were right, or maybe you were wrong, it's way worse. The person is way worse than you thought. So I think a lot of us that criticize some of our politicians should take the chance to go to some of these town halls. If he has one in if you're not a fan of our Prime Minister and he has a town hall in your area, go see him. See if you can actually talk to him. That way you might get a better understanding of him. If that applies, if it's your town or city council, meet your councillor, meet your mayor, meet your local MP, meet your local provincial representative. If you have a chance to even meet your premier, take those opportunities. It gives you a better insight into that individual. I will acknowledge it could also waste your time, because in a way it could just confirm what you already thought in the first place. But I think it's better to take these opportunities to meet them, just because, like I've previously stated, it can show you may have been wrong, or it could just confirm what you already thought. Now, addressing Jason Kenney himself, I've been very critical in the past, where I feel he is a very cookie-cutter, milquetoast politician, very robotic, very standard politician. When he talks, he has the politician cadence. He doesn't seem like he has anything different about him. It's always, the standard cookie cutter. Gives typical political answers. Nothing really of substance that you can really take home going, oh, I understand what he believes in. So when I met him, when I listened to his presentation, I could get a sense that, yes, he truly does believe that to defeat the NDP in Alberta, the two conservative, right-wing, or whatever parties you want to call them, the Wild Rose Party and the Progressive Conservative Party, should attempt some kind of merger to consolidate the conservative vote in the province, so the NDP will end up defeated in the next election. Now, we can get into where I disagree with that, which is fine. But I got a sense that he truly did believe that. Personally, I'm not sure that's entirely a good strategy. I personally don't believe in vote splitting. I've always seen it as just an excuse from a losing party. I always point to, on the left, there are the Green Party, the Liberals, the NDP, I'm talking about federally, as well as Le Bloc Québécois. Those are all parties that fall somewhere on the left. Now, there have been times where the vote gets so divided on the left where the Conservatives can't win. But the Liberals have proven that despite 4 or 5-way splitting, they could still win elections. So I've always wondered why the right is so afraid of competing against each other when the left has competed against each other and it has it hindered them. As stated, I don't understand why the right is so afraid of competing against each other. It has been proven that despite having several parties on one particular side of the spectrum, victory is still possible. So that's, maybe I'll never understand, but that's that. I've always thought that when Kenny started to run at the provincial level, he was automatically trying to distance himself from his federal run. He served in Stephen Harper's cabinet when Harper was Prime Minister, and he was a Minister of Labor, a Minister of Immigration, and I believe there was another one. But either way, he definitely served in the cabinet, and he held several ministerial roles. A few years ago, when the temporary foreign worker program came under scrutiny, the Conservatives had to change the way that program was used, and that caused a lot of outrage in Alberta. The new rule change, unfortunately, hurt a lot of businesses out here. And a lot of people here felt that Kenny was one of the ministers involved in these changes, that some of the things he changed in the program didn't help Alberta, and a lot of people felt he left them high and dry. So with the way he's been running his campaign, I've often felt he's really trying to wash that Ottawa stain off himself. And I saw nothing in his presentation to make me feel otherwise. I could definitely see he genuinely does feel the NDP needs to be beat in an election and replaced by obviously either the Wild Rose or the Progressive Conservatives, individually or a merged party. So although I do feel he still is very much a standard politician, I can see this is at least what he believes in, and he's at least sincere. So I'll give him points for that. However, I feel I have to take them away because he's still a standard politician. And the one thing that did jump out at me that kind of annoyed me was his position on if the merger fails, what's plan B? His plan B would be a proposal to strike an agreement with the Wild Rose to not run in certain ridings together and then form a coalition government after. Now, the Conservatives threw a hissy fit when the left federally tried this maneuver. And now they want to do it here provincially, which to me screams hypocrisy. Now, he himself, I don't remember really hearing him address this issue back when the Liberals, the NDP, and the Bloc tried to form a coalition government. So, but he's definitely from a party that did throw a hissy fit over that, who threw a lot of jabs of you're going against what the electorate wanted, blah blah blah, all that. So, all in all, I think it was definitely worth. It's definitely worth meeting some of these politicians, even if you don't like them. If for the only benefit of, you'll find out real quick if your opinion was right. And if it is right, you'll know what to do in the next election. So, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you for watching. Think of subscribing, leaving a comment, And overall, have a good day.